The meeting will come to order. Before we start the meeting, Commissioner LaCroix will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd all stand, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Are they asking for another continuance?
No. The following matters will come before the Revere License Commission. This is a regularly scheduled meeting, Wednesday, April 18th, 2018. The meeting minutes were previously filed with the city clerk. The first order of business will be approval of the minutes of our October 18th, 2017 meeting. Is there a motion to approve the meeting?
Motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
The motion to approve the minutes of the October 18th, 2017 meeting has been approved. The next item on the agenda will be applications submitted for consideration. Item number 1, Revere Restaurant Group, Inc., DBA Tio Margaritas Mexican Restaurant, 85 American Legion Highway. Kevin Light is the manager. This is an application for a one-day entertainment license. The application of Revere Restaurant Group for a one-day entertainment license to be exercised at the same location on Saturday, May 5th, 2018, from 6 p.m. until 12 a.m. to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. The entertainment is to consist of a DJ. Is there anybody here on behalf of Tio Juan Margaritas Mexican Restaurant? Can you step forward to the microphone, please, sir? And your name and address for the record?
My name is Sean Casey.
And your address?
Sean Casey. I'm the Assistant General Manager of Margaritas in Revere.
Okay. Can you explain to us what you want to do here?
So yeah, we're just, sir, thank you for having me today. Just looking to hire a DJ for the evening. Cinco de Mayo's, our biggest day of the year. We do have a jukebox there we have a license for, but we're just looking to add for a little bit of an extra kind of pop to the evening. Have a DJ for a few hours there, let people dance and whatnot.
Very good. Is this going to be the same type of stuff you always do there, or is this something different?
Nope, the same type of stuff we always do, sir.
I noticed that your application indicates that the location where the event shall be held will be lounge/function room.
Correct.
Well, is it the lounge or the function room, or are they the same thing?
Okay, so as you know, we're connected to the Comfort Inn there. So they have a room that kind of goes in there. So what we do is we kind of kitty corner the DJ, which is half in their function room, and you play the music into our lounge area.
Very good.
Yep.
And will there be any additional security at this event?
We do have somebody checking IDs at the door. Yes, sir.
Well, I see you have a number of attendees expected to be 100.
Yes, and our capacity is 184, so we'll make sure we stay under that number.
Very good. Will there be additional alcohol service stations, or are you just going to stick with the regular bar?
We're sticking with our regular bar service, sir.
And do you have close to TV in that hotel? What's the situation there with the CCTV?
As far as like security cameras and whatnot?
Security cameras and stuff like that.
We do, yes, sir.
You know how many there are approximately?
Just for the hotel itself or just our restaurant?
Well, let's start with your restaurant.
The restaurant, I mean, we have one in every area of the restaurant. So front of the house, back of the house for us, bar, lounge, dining room, kitchen. And I know that the hotel itself also has the same security areas as well. We do make sure that we keep alcohol surveillance top of mind, especially right by the doors, because our liquor license is certainly different once they enter the hotel. So, but we do have all the cameras are all right there.
Very good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
You said that you're going to have it between the lounge and the function room.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is quite a distance. And in between there is your restaurant. So how are you going to, is it going to go right through the restaurant?
Okay,
also?
so are you folks familiar with our layout?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so if you, when you enter our restaurant, we have if you continue to go straight ahead, there's a jukebox area there. There's a door right next to the jukebox that opens up into a function room that sometimes we cater for the hotel.
Right.
So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the DJ up in that area. So his back will be to that area and the jukebox will be projecting out that way. So he'll be set up in that room, but the function room won't actually have guests in there.
Okay, but you'll still be facing your restaurant.
It'll be facing our lounge area, yes, ma'am.
So it's really going to encompass all three
Yes, ma'am.
areas, I guess.
It would be, yes. But the function room is pretty much just a storage area for the gentleman doing the DJ work and stuff, just so he doesn't take up a corner of the restaurant.
Okay. I'm just concerned because you're going to have your X amount of numbers in the restaurant, then your lounge, and then the function room, which the function room is a good size. I've been in there. It is a
Sure.
good size.
Sure.
But this is really going to take up that whole area, which is quite large.
So, well, ma'am, our intention is to kind of have the gentleman set up in that corner and not actually use the function room for guests. Actually just have the DJ set up in there so we can have all his equipment, so it's not kind of laid out all over the restaurant, taking up a little corner there where the jukebox is and whatnot.
Okay. As long as you're going to have control of that area, because I'm looking
Sure.
at it, it's, you know, and there's going to be control, and as my fellow commissioner said, you will have security there, and...
Sure, absolutely, ma'am. We're hiring at least 2 people to work the door, wristbands, and we'll have somebody counting our occupancy as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Just quick on the parking. Typically, the place is pretty busy in the parking. Is
Sure.
there any issues with that, or are you having overflow somewhere?
I mean, we do have some issues with the hotel at times, but we are hiring some valet for the day for that as well.
I have no more questions.
Thank you very much, sir. I will close this part of the hearing.
All right, thank you, folks.
And I will ask, are there any proponents out there? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the hearing. Are there any opponents out there? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the hearing. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second the motion.
It's unanimous. The motion to approve the one-day entertainment license for Revere Restaurant Group, DBA Tio-Juan Margaritas Mexican Restaurant, to be exercised at the same location on Saturday, May 5th, 2018, from 6 p.m. until 12 a.m. to celebrate Cinco de Mayo entertainment to consist of a DJ. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. And folks, just one question. Where do I supply the check over there? Thank you. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you. Item number 2, Meba Corporation, DBA El Pinol 2 Restaurant, 570A Broadway. Olga Medina, President and Manager. This is an application for a transfer of the common viculars license. The application of Meba Corporation, DBA El Pinol 2 Restaurant, for a transfer of a common victuals license from At Juan's Taqueria, Inc., said license to be exercised at 570A Broadway. Requested hours of operation are Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., with requested seating to remain at 20. Your name and address for the record, please, ma'am?
Yes, my name is Olga Medina.
Very good. And your name and address?
I'm Juan Jaramillo.
Very good. And you are the new person who is going to be taking over from this young?
From me, yeah.
Very good. Are you going to be doing the same things there, or what type of food do you plan on?
No,
They have a Colombian restaurant for over 20 years in East Boston, and they're looking for an expansion to do deliveries and, serve the food there. They have a lot of requests from the area for deliveries, and a lot of people here looking for it. And they open in there.
Where was the other restaurant? In East Boston?
In East Boston. Yeah.
Where in East
What's the
Boston was that?
address?
54 Bennington.
54 Bennington Street.
I'm sorry?
54 Bennington.
Thank you. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
No, I guess to answer the question, she does have experience
Oh, yes.
in the restaurant business. No, I have no questions.
There's no liquor at this restaurant, or is there?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Okay. Where on Broadway is this?
It's a very
Right next to
small place in
Domino's.
the back.
Oh, over there, oh, that was it,
Yeah.
okay.
Right next to Domino's.
Sorry. No more questions.
Oh, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will close this part of the hearing. Are there any proponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the hearing. Are there any opponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the hearing. Do I have a motion to act on this?
I'll make a motion to approve the transfer of the common victual license.
I'll second the motion.
It's unanimous. The application for a transfer of a common victualer's license from Atwan's Taqueria, Inc. to Meba Corporation, DBA El Penol 2 Restaurant, to be exercised at 570A Broadway. The requested hours of operation are Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Requested seating at 20. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Approved. Thank you very much. Item number 3 will be Smart Buy Auto Group, Inc., DBA Smart Buy USA, 1107 North Shore Road, Revere. Maria Calametta, owner. This is an application for a transfer of a Class 2 motor vehicle dealer's license. The application of Smart Buy Auto Group, Inc., DBA Smart Buy USA, for transfer of a Class 2 motor vehicle license from JP's Auto Sales, LLC. Said license to be exercised at 1107 North Shore Road. Maximum number of cars for sale on the lot is to be 17. Your name and address for the record, please.
Maria Calametta, and 36 Village Road, Middleton.
Thank you. Have you received the expectional services approvals for this operation?
I didn't know we needed it. I thought we had filled out everything with Maggie. I didn't know if we needed anything else. I didn't know if I needed inspectional service. I didn't realize I needed inspectional services stuff.
I believe you were given the forms to fill out, though.
Okay.
There is a form that needs to be filled out, and in order for us to transfer this license, you have to get this thing signed off by the inspectional services and the fire department. So before we can approve this license and transfer it, you need to get those things signed off. And so we are going to be unable to act on this today. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
Is there a way that we can we table this and get that?
Sure, we can continue it to next month if you'd like, and we can put it back on the agenda. I don't think,
It's once a month, correct?
well, I don't think you'd be able to get inspectional services in the fire department down there before we close the business today. So I would say that, the next best thing is going to have to be wait a month. I'm sorry, but that's the best we can
Is
do
that
for
something
you.
that we can do now that we can set up to be heard next month?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
We'll, and if you get those things signed off, basically, we'll bring you in again, and we'll talk for a couple seconds, and once everybody's comfortable, I assume we will take a vote.
Understood, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 4, The Bomb Food LLC, 744 Broadway, Megan Fitzgerald, manager. This is an application for a transfer of a malt wine restaurant license. The application of The Bomb Food LLC, Megan Fitzgerald, manager, for transfer of a malt wine restaurant license from Sabor Peruvian Fusion, Inc. Said license to be exercised at 744 Broadway. The requested hours of operation, are Tuesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. The requested seating is 26, and this is continued from our March meeting. Name and address for the record, please, ma'am.
Megan Fitzgerald, 35 Elm Street, Revere, Massachusetts.
Very good. And can you explain to us what it is you want to do with the Bomb Food?
We want to open a barbecue restaurant. We would like to offer beer service, and then we also want to do takeout of food only.
Okay. Did you say takeout only?
Takeout of food only.
Very good. Do my fellow commissioners have any questions?
Yes, whereabouts is this 744? Is that,
It's down across from the check cashing place, past
Okay,
Domino's,
so-
kind of down the hill.
Malden Street and
Yes.
Broadway?
Across from Perriello's.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because that was just transferred recently again.
1 year ago,
What, has it been a year?
yes.
Yeah, it seems like we're getting a big turnover on that corner there.
Hopefully it won't turn over after this. That's the
Right.
goal.
Yeah, because the last applicant, like I say, might be a little under a year. And the seating there now is 26? We're not
Yes.
changing the seating there?
Not changing the seating.
Because it's not a very big area in there.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're looking to do a barbecue?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so that's quite different from the last two that were there.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, I have no other questions.
Thank you.
I have no questions.
Very good. I don't have any questions also. I think I hope you do well there.
Thank you very much.
I will close that part of the hearing. Are there any proponents? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Jay Satin, 385 Broadway, Revere. I represent the current owner, Sabor Peruvian Fusion, Louis Apalaya, the license holder, and obviously we are a proponent of this. One of the tough, to answer a question, one of the tough things about the location is certainly the parking.
Is the parking, right?
Yes, there is absolutely no parking. The Italian club is next door, can't use their facilities, and then you've got the Minos right behind us.
Right.
Other than that, Mr. Apalaya, who was a hospital worker previous to this, has been offered a very lucrative position back with the hospital. And as he says, he's working 16 hours a week with 16 hours a day with the restaurant, and that will be a welcome rest going back to his other job.
Okay. I guess my concern is it is obviously residential there, but the barbecuing, what kind of events you have going there, and I'm sure it's all been approved.
Yes, we're just planning to do basic, ribs and chicken and things like that, and people can come in and eat with us, or we can deliver dinner to them, or they can get it to go. Offering.
I'm just worried about the venting
venting,
of the barbecuing. I think you may know more about that than I do.
Well, I mean, it's one of the good selling points of a barbecue place. Hopefully you're venting it with a nice aroma.
We actually work closely with Smokehouse out of Mattapan, and they do all of the smoking for us.
Oh, okay.
So it is still locally smoked, fresh product, but we wouldn't be doing it specifically on site. We purchase it smoked already.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. Are there any other proponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the hearing. Are there any opponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the hearing. Is there a motion to vote on this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
The motion is unanimous.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
The application for the transfer of a malt wine restaurant license from Sabor Peruvian Fusion, Inc. to The Bomb Food LLC, Megan Fitzgerald, manager. The said license to be exercised at 744 Broadway. The requested hours of operation are Tuesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. through 11 p.m. Requested seating is 26. Your license is transferred and approved. Thank you very much. The next item is item number 5, GA Restaurant 2, Inc., DBA Santorini Restaurant, 376 Revere Beach Boulevard. Stavroula Fotopoulos, manager. This is an application for an alteration of premises to allow outdoor seating for a malt wine restaurant license. The application of GA Restaurant 2, Inc., DBA Santorini Restaurant, Stavroula Fotopoulos, manager, for an alteration of premises to allow outdoor seating on the adjacent patio. The requested outdoor seating is 32, which will bring the total seating in the restaurant to 80. Your name and address for the record, please?
Stavroula Fotopoulos, 376 Revere Beach Boulevard, Revere, Mass.
Thank you. This is a continuation from our last meeting, I believe. Did you have any questions, Commissioner?
No, I didn't have any questions. I just don't think they realize they need an outdoor seating. They've had it right along. And as far as I'm concerned, I've never heard of any problems there. And I actually never see anyone buying anything to drink there. Seems like a very quiet business, but no, it's a great run business. I'm happy to have people like you in our community. So
Thank
no, I
you.
have no questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner LaCroix.
Yeah. I really don't have any questions. I think it's nice to have that capability of outdoor seating, especially down the beach. So other than what my colleague said, I think it's good to have outdoor seating with your establishment.
Thank you.
Very good. I will close this portion of the meeting. Are there any proponents out there? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that portion. Are there any opponents out there?
Opponents?
Yes, an opponent.
Oh, I guess proponents.
Opponents.
He would be a proponent.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Councilor.
Yeah, my name is John Powers. I'm speaking as a proponent. I have known Sylvia for probably 20 years. And initially, she took an old building that was an eyesore, converted it into what she has down there now, and operated for several years. At some point, I believe she leased it out, and she's looking to come back there now, and she has a nice patio down there. Her situation is probably no different than a couple of other establishments down there that have outside service, and I have no problem whatsoever. In fact, I support her. I think she'll do a fantastic job, and I'm glad to see her back in the city operating that business. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Are there any other proponents out there? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that. Are there any opponents out there? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that. Is there a motion to vote?
Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve, and I'm sure Councilor Powers knows everything that's going on in his area. And if he says it's a good run business, I'll take his word for it. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with my colleague, Linda. I second the motion.
Very good. The motion is approved. The application for the alteration of premises to allow outdoor seating for a malt wine restaurant license has been approved for GA Restaurant 2, Inc., DBA Santorini Restaurant, Stavroula Fotopoulos, manager. The requested outdoor seating is 32, bringing the total restaurant seating to 80. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That concludes the applications and transfers. The next item on the agenda would be hearings.
Just, excuse me,
into possible violations of license regulations stemming from an alleged violation of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 94C. This is a continuation from the March hearing. Name and address for the record, please,
Yes.
sir.
Attorney Richard Vigliotti, 385 Broadway, Revere. I'm filling in this afternoon for Attorney Cipolletta, who represents the licensee. He is still having a trial in federal court, which will probably go into next week. And an issue has come up that I was unaware of until just this afternoon regarding the rollback of the hours of this establishment because of an incident that occurred since the last meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Our client is here this afternoon and has a videotape which we would like to introduce to the commission. If I can give you a quick overview of what's on the tape.
Sure.
Two individuals who were inebriated attempted to enter the bar. The doorman stopped them from coming in, closed the door on them, then obtained a key from the bartender and locked the door, keeping the two individuals out. What transpires next in the tape, after a few minutes, thinking that the door was locked, the two individuals entered the bar. The doorman intercepted them, tried to remove them again from the establishment. At that point, that's when the fight broke out. Even during the fight, the doorman got between the combatants and was able to remove one of the inebriated individuals, forcing him back outside. And then the fight occurred and one of the combatants was injured. This is an incident that could happen almost anywhere. The doorman took every step he possibly could to stop the individuals from coming in and continually tried to remove them. We're requesting that the rollback be lifted during a period of continuance until next month.
Well, just point of interest here. I don't see that this is on the agenda for today. I think what we have on the agenda today is the continuance from last month from the incident that happened there. So I don't know, truthfully, if I want to go ahead with this other hearing.
Excuse me, but it was my understanding that the rollback was basically until the meeting today.
Right.
So that the rollback was.
I'm sorry. May I speak for 1 second?
Sure.
Sorry. It's Bobby Kelly.
Go ahead.
Robert Kelly. I just didn't want, I explained to Mr. Vigliotti that I thought we would, if he's asking for a continuance today, because Mr. Cipolletta is in federal court, I didn't know if we were going to have to, till next month now, because of what happened under our agreement. We were closed down starting this past Thursday, which we closed every night at 11. If we were to ask for continuance today, would we have to stay closed at 11 through the whole month? Or would we open till, because I know it was just until the meeting today, and then if the board's bringing us in for this issue, then obviously this videotape would be used to show you tonight or at the next hearing, whenever it.
Well, I mean, look, I kind of understand, I can get an idea what's on the videotape. I read the police report. I will say this, that the doorman appears to have made some tactical mistakes, okay? I mean,
If I may interrupt I'm sorry.
Excuse me, but you have 4 people arguing on the store out in front of the place, according to the police report. 4 people arguing, and you allow 2 in.
Could I now speak?
Sure.
That's not what happened. The doorman told, because I showed him the report yesterday that came in on Thursday, that it said doorman allowed 2 combatants to come inside. 2 of the customers were at the front door having a cigarette. 2 gentlemen walked up, and altercations seemed like they started to seem to have an argument. The doorman managed to take the 2 customers that were customers drinking in the establishment inside and asked the other 2 who were trying to get in, who were clearly inebriated, to leave.
But Mr. Kelly, I don't want to cut you short again.
That's okay.
I don't think we should be hearing this. You're
Oh,
not
okay,
on the, you're not on the agenda. I
Okay.
think what's on the
I'm sorry.
agenda now,
Is
the
the-
question maybe your attorney is asking, how long is that 11 o'clock
Yes.
rollback?
So-
I think you're up on another violation next month.
From last month.
But to hear this this
Today.
incident today, it's not on my agenda.
Okay, I
I think
apologize.
what the attorney was asking, which is the one question I'll address, is that how long was the rollback for? The rollback was, should there be an incident, till we come back to this meeting, any of the three that had it would be rolled back to 11 o'clock. So I think today that would be on the agenda, the 11 o'clock rollback. But I think you're looking at another incident that happened that is not on the agenda, and I think should be heard next month.
Okay.
So I'm willing to address the 11 o'clock closing, but we also have the continuance of last month, is what I'm thinking this is about today. Okay? And I do, the 11 o'clock was certainly in order, the rollback of 11 o'clock. But I did.
I understand that.
And, you know, I was one that voted for that. And absolutely, and it did happen. But I don't have all the facts of, although we do have the police report, as my commissioner said. I would wait to go forward on that case. I think that is another issue. And I think today we're facing, do we stay with that 11 o'clock? Do we let you take your hours back until next meeting? Again, should you have another incident, it would be again 11 o'clock until
Okay.
we hear the next meeting. But
apologize.
I think today to go ahead with a hearing that's not listed, I'm not prepared for that. So I think I would address the 11 o'clock. So I'm going to give the floor to the council and or my commission if they want to address the 11 o'clock first or do the continuance of the original incident.
Counselor, let me hear your ideas. What did you come here with the idea to do?
Well, the original idea was to ask for a simple continuance because Attorney Cipolletta couldn't be present and present the defense of the matter that's on the agenda today. This afternoon, I learned that there was a follow-up letter in an incident that affected the question of whether or not the hours should be rolled back. Again, without going into all of the details, it seems to be an event that the establishment and the doorman did everything they could to prevent the incident from happening. And the follow-up request as a result of that is that the licensee be continued to operate as normal working hours and no rollback till 11 until the next meeting next month.
Well, it would seem that if you wanted to get a continuance, it would seem that you would be under the same kind of proviso. I might consider that again, in that, okay, we're going to lift the 11 o'clock beginning at this meeting. However, you're getting continuance on the overall hearing of this matter until the next meeting. But if something should happen in the intervening time, then we move to an 11 o'clock close. I don't know how my other commissioners feel about that, but that would be something that I might contemplate.
Okay.
Well, you know, that's how I feel. I feel that the hours, because I've seen some of the report, and although I agree with my colleague, it's very tough to have people like this up here, to be honest with you. As I've explained to my colleagues, I've known them for many, many years. I mean, I have gone there years ago, and, you know, I'm not used to things happening there. This is really, you know, out of character for that place, and to have two incidents back to back, it's, you know, I'm really taken back by it, because for all the years I've been here, I haven't seen you people at the meeting. So I feel the same way. I would go back to your normal hours. Again, it would till the next meeting, but at the next meeting, I would like to hear both issues. Right. We have two that should be on the agenda, the continuance and this other.
And I think we have to kind of stipulate that there can't be any more hearings. I mean, any more continuances. We've continued this thing for a couple months now, and it's actually, you know, working in against your interest to continue this for a period of time, because
right.
If there are sanctions, you're going to be hurt during a very busy period of the time.
Yeah.
So I hope that you understand that, you know, what's going on here, the full ramifications.
Although on another, and like I say, you know, I'm very friendly with you people, and I do feel bad, but it's been brought to my attention that you don't have a license for a pool table.
A license for a pool table?
you need an amusement license for a pool table. So I don't want that to come into play within this next month. Not a pool table. Pool table's a separate license. Yeah, so, I'm concerned about that because right now you illegally have a pool table in your establishment. So like, right now, anybody could walk in and say, well, here's another violation. It's just been brought to our attention. I'm surprised. I apologize that I didn't realize you didn't have a license.
And we'll cover them and they'll not be used until we have a proper license.
Well, that would be good because there's your first violation.
Yeah, we can cover them.
So if you can take care of that ASAP, and please don't use it until it is approved.
They will not be used.
There is a cover for the pool table, and it will be put on.
Okay,
We'll take everything, we can take the balls away and the sticks, everything, and put away in the office. So
Okay.
nothing's available to use.
yeah, I didn't realize that. I don't know why we didn't realize there wasn't a license there, but that is a separate license. It's a different type of amusement. Okay.
Well, counsel's here. I'd like to hear, are you here for this case? No, sir. Okay. It's your ward, correct? It is not. I'm sorry? Okay. All right. So I wanted to hear if you had something to say. We're all ears for you. I'll just both my colleagues kind of covered what I was going to say. I, lift it, till the next, meeting, and then we'll address all the issues and just, again, keep it clean and keep everything under control as best you can.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very good. Yes, so I'm going to propose a motion to continue this matter until our next meeting, which is May 16th.
Yes.
I'm going to make a motion to continue this matter until our next meeting on May 16th.
Yes.
With the proviso that should any incidents occur that are considered to be violations of the license, that the establishment will be notified and shut down at 11 o'clock again. We understand that to be?
Fully understood,
Very good.
yes.
So that is going to be my motion. Do I have any second on that?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. The motion is approved, so that is going to be the situation. You will be able to operate regularly, and we will continue this matter until the next meeting. If there is an incident, we will, again, move as we did last time. Very good.
Again, Commissioner, our officer is not here today, so we will notify the police department that you can move forward with the later hours because they have you down as 11 o'clock. I don't want any problems.
Is it okay or tomorrow?
No, today's fine.
Today's fine.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
This is, okay. The item number 7, William J. Chamness, DBA Chamness Bar and Grill, 113 Shirley Avenue, William Chamness, manager. Excuse me. This is a hearing into possible violations of the license regulations stemming from alleged violation of Massachusetts General Law 94C. This is a continuation from the March meeting. Name and address for the record, please.
Again, Richard Vigliotti, 385 Broadway, Revere. Filling in again for Attorney James Cipolletta. This is a simple, straightforward request for a continuance to next month's meeting.
Very good. There's a request for a continuance. I would, again, be inclined to vote for it if we had the proviso that should anything occur within that period of time, that there will be an 11 o'clock rollback.
Understood.
I also would like to just add that this will be a final continuance.
Yes, this is, and again, this is the final continuance, okay? We're not going to continue this again, all right?
It's agreed.
Thank you very much, sir. Do you have any questions,
No,
Commissioner?
I'm in agreement, so let's go ahead with the continuance.
Very good. So this matter will be continued until our May 16th meeting.
Are there any proponents?
I'm sorry?
Are there any proponents, or is he wishing to speak?
Is there anyone in the chamber that would like to speak on any matter? This matter?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioner, and Mr. Commissioner there. This is in my ward, and they've been there for 100 years. I'm surprised certain things happened, but they usually run a quiet business there. So, whatever things we can work out for them, I would appreciate that, because I've known them for many, many, many years. So whatever we can do and work things out and make things better. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Well, so we're going to make a motion to continue this to May 16th with the proviso that if any violations occur between now and then, that we will notify you of an immediate shutdown at 11 o'clock.
Agreed.
Very good. Thank you very much. That motion is approved. That concludes the hearings. The next items on the agenda is a board discussion. Basically, it is a request from the mayor that the License Commission discuss the possibility of raising parking lot license fees. The current license fee is $25 per space. I would like to, I think that as a starting point, I would recommend that we increase the fees to $365 per year. It's basically just $1 per day per space. And I think that it is a time that the city has raised the fees. They have not raised the fees in many, many years. Parking is a major issue in the city. It is one of the, Revere is positioned as a gateway city to the North Shore. A lot of people come into the city and park and go to the airport and go into Boston. And Revere needs to be able to compensate itself fairly for the type of aggravation that people have to put up with for those kinds of situations. So I would be in favor of raising the fees to $365 per space per year. Like I say, it's only $1 a day, and I would ask that that be implemented July 1st of this fiscal year.
Well, I agree with you, Commissioner. Not only is it the traffic and the wear and tear on our roads, but it's a big inconvenience to the people who live in our city. We have enough traffic, and I think people don't realize that in some of these parking lots, they're being used 24/7. So there are vehicles entering and exiting some of these larger parking lots 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and they abut properties. So I think $365 a year, they're still getting a break for what they charge per unit. It's costing them $1. And for the inconvenience of our residents, $1 seems a very small price to pay. And this goes on constantly. And you know, I will agree with you, $1 a spot. I think it's great. But what happens with these trucks that we're letting park there? And I guess that's another issue. But $1 to let them park all year, that's quite cheap. They're getting a buy at $1. So I'm 100% with that, and it's about time we've done something. And there are some people, as we know, that don't want to pay anything, and it's very unfair. We pay our taxes, they should pay for the use of our property.
I agree with you, Commissioner. Commissioner LaCroix, do you have any thoughts on this?
Just saying it's $1 per space? Where are you getting that number?
Well, it would be $365 for the license.
With the new proposal.
Basically, with the new proposal.
$1 per day per
Right,
space,
right.
not $1, okay.
Right.
Make sure everybody's clear with that. Because right now it's $25 per
Right,
space.
which is,
for
I
the
mean,
year.
that's ridiculous.
Well, when you look at it, Commissioner, they're parking, there was one facility that's probably parking 800 cars a day. I think $1 a car for what they're getting is quite small to me.
I agree on those lots. My concern is, what about the other lots, the MBTA lots? Is that?
That's not inclusive of this, that's
Inclusive,
separate.
is that
No.
clarified here? Because to me, this is
But that's not, the city has nothing to do with
All right,
those
so-
parking lots.
Now, special event lots, are we gonna be charging them 300, special events where you have parking for events throughout the city? Does this apply?
It would,
I mean, during the beach events, I'm just asking the questions.
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
So we're talking about the ones down
It's
at
actually,
the,
some people, they call it, the word escapes me, but they'll raise their prices during events in the city, and that will help us also, not doing that. I think the council remembers one of them. We're going up, we had sandcastles. I think normal day was $5. We had the sandcastles, went up to $20 a day. And that's gouging, I guess the word is. So, yeah, we really need some control, and I think it's up to this board to start it and
So
get
we're-
control of,
we're referring to mostly the ones down in Wonderland and the ones down
only
in
the ones that we license.
licensed.
We don't license the
The one in
MBTA.
Necco and the ones down. the
yes,
ones that
all
licensed.
of the commercial parking lots in the city, of which there are seven or so licenses, or 1,078 spaces thereabouts, not including Wonderland. So, that's basically what we're talking about. Counselor, do you have something to add?
I do, sir. Thank you very much. Ira Novoselsky, 53 Dearborn Street, Revere, Ward 2 Councilor. You know I've been in front of you in the past, specifically on the Sand Sculpt event, where a lot of these, behind your house parking people are illegally renting spaces for $20 a day, whether they rented it or not. The gentleman that charged $5 doesn't even have a permit for that, because he rents, it's part of his building, and he rents it on the weekends. And it was part of their rent, but he still charged anybody coming off the street $20 per car for the day. So
Something should be done about that.
exactly, and that's why I've always come up to you before and asked that you have your police officer review event day or event week to look at these lots to see if they have a parking permit. But let me say, as far as those people are concerned, if they did come to you for a permit, they only have maybe 10, 15 cars on it. And it's only a 1 or 2 day or 3 day event. I think you ought to prorate something with that, or put that in your ordinances.
We could look at that as a one-day license, something like that. I'm
Could-
not too sure.
Yeah, we do it with the liquor, we do it with liquor license, so.
Right, we could do a one-day
One-day
license and look
parking,
at that.
parking license, similar to what we do with one-day entertainment license.
Exactly,
and
and
things
the
like
smaller guy, he's just trying to make a few extra bucks, and we understand he's not an every 365 day a year operation for a large amount of cars.
But Counselor, on that point too, is I agree with you, but also I think that maybe this board has to say, they're not gonna come in, okay, they're only gonna park 20 cars and charge $20. They have to stay within the reasonable fee also.
I have no problem with that. If it was $10 and they didn't get anything before, then they're $10 ahead, and if they have to pay 50 or 100, and they're gonna have it for, say, a 3-day event, and they have 20 cars in there, and they're making $200 a day with the 20 cars at $10.
I
At
meant
$10.
the fee to the person parking.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, if they charge $10 a day for their temporary event, okay, and they're making $600 for 3 days.
And we do a percentage. Well, maybe that's something we have to put down when they apply for it. What will your fee be for parking? And then go by that, a certain percentage.
I don't know if you can control
Yeah,
how much they charge, but you can control how much you charge.
Right, but I think if somebody comes
For
in
the
and fills
fee.
out an application and they want a parking lot license, what's your fee gonna be? I don't think that's a question out of line. I mean, again, with the gouging last year, it was terrible.
Well,
People couldn't
and I'll
park.
just use a scenario, it's parallel to what we're dealing with apartment house parking. They were charging their tenants for parking spaces.
Right.
And they don't pay a fee. All these new projects that are coming up.
So I
There's a
kinda
couple
wonder
that
where that
don't.
comes in also. If it's a paid parking in these condos, that may be something this board has to look at too. If you're gonna get paid per parking spot, then I guess they'll
If
never
it's,
parking lot?
yeah, if it's part of the
Definition
lease.
Commercial parking.
Yeah, if it's part of the lease, it's not commercial parking, it's not public parking, it's for the building itself. But if they're,
But you're still charging a fee.
if they're charging a fee and these people don't want to park there, they're parking out in the street.
Right.
And I'll use Ocean Ave as an example, but, you know, those landlords are now changing their tune and they're building it into their lease.
And I think that this board also has to look at, I think in getting this together before the summer, this board has to look at, we have a lot of business establishments, especially along Revere Beach. They put
Exactly.
signs right out front, and they're charging for parking in their business.
They don't have a permit.
They have no permits, but
Yeah.
they've got, right along Revere Beach, last year, I think, you know, probably 3 or 4 of them were charging for
I'll bet
parking.
more,
No, probably more.
even one set of streets back.
So I think that that could be a violation of their license because they're running a parking lot license, a parking lot without a license.
Well, maybe you should put a letter out to the
Well, I think this is what this
licensees
discussion
to let
is
them know
about.
what,
Yes.
what's,
Collectively, what we think.
I think
What's up?
it's kind of branched off a little bit onto the one-day license, which we can take up at another matter, and a little bit about what we would do as far as enforcement for people who just kind of pop up parking lots. But I think as far as this discussion goes, I would be prepared to make a motion to make the license fee $365, with the understanding that it would be implemented on July 1st, as every license after July 1st would be subject to the fee, and all renewals on the date that they are renewed would be at their new fee. I mean, that would
would
be,
that be an ordinance change?
I beg your pardon?
Would that be an ordinance change if you increase the fees? Because then you'd have to go through the public hearing
No.
process.
No, there's no public hearing required, nor is there an ordinance required. That's, by statute, the License Commission sets the fees, and so that's what this discussion is about. Do you think that, do you have a problem with those fees being, do you have a problem with that motion? What are your thoughts on
Yeah,
that, Counselor?
I know when we look at it, some people are using it 24/7 and some aren't. You know, I know we were talking about $100 per space per day, you know, but, you know, for their license, per year, I mean, hundreds of dollars. It may be excessive, it may be, but, you know, if that's what you guys want to do, it doesn't affect me, it doesn't affect any of my people, because the people that are doing it now don't live in the city. And right now, we're not getting anything from them.
Absolutely.
And, you know, if
Well, I mean, look,
you want to look at it as $1 a day, yeah, you can.
I don't think where
I
they
won't fight
live, where they live is really the issue. I would think that the issue more is what would be reasonable for this, and I think that really, when you look at the offset as far as what the people who live around the parking lots have to put up with, and the influx of traffic through the city because of where we are, that $1 a day per space, I don't see that as being excessive. I think that $365, I mean, these parking lots generally open $365 a year, 7 days a week. And as my fellow commissioner said, some of them running cars in and out all night long. So, I mean, I think obviously it's a lucrative business, and obviously it creates situations for the residents that are undesirable. And so I think this is a way to maybe mitigate that. There's a lot that can be done in the city with some of the money that would be generated for that. And I think, you know, so that's why I think I'd be willing to propose that and make a motion to raise the license fee to $365 per year. Is there a second on that?
That's your call, sir, and I say good luck. And just to respond to the other commissioner on the other spaces, any state agency is above and beyond our jurisdiction.
Correct.
MBTA, MassDOT.
Yeah, I just wanted
We
to
don't
make,
get
I just
anything
want
from
to make sure.
that.
So unfortunately,
But that's, we
you know,
don't get anything.
we don't get anything from them.
Can I ask you one question, Counselor? Are Are you a Celtics fan?
Can you tell?
I think I saw you last night.
Can you
were
tell?
there last night. It was a great game, but I think I saw you.
Before,
But yes, I do.
Before
I
you,
think that moving forward with this $365 a day, I have no problem with that for what they're taking in. But I also would like to look into how we can control illegal ones popping up in the summer. And of course, if they have licenses, which most of them do on the beach, we can, that's a violation of their license running a parking lot.
I would make a suggestion that you send out a blast to your licensees, your permit holders now for businesses, and go through the city clerk to get a hold of all the people that have the business certificates. That letters go out to them advising them of this. That's number one. And number two, make sure we put it in the paper and let people know what's going on.
Well, I think it's a good motion, and I'm going to go along with it.
just let me, before you say that, I have to kind of agree with council. I mean, there isn't a lot of detail here. I know you said there's 7 licenses. Now, I don't know if one of the licenses has 10 cars, one has 1,000 cars. I don't think we did a lot of homework on this, going from $125 to $365. And if I'm a business owner, or I'm running a good business, and I have a license to park cars in the lot, and I've never had an issue, I'd have a significant problem. Now, there's a few bad ones. My thing is, I don't think we did due diligence here, other than just jumping the price up,
But Commissioner,
in my opinion.
yeah, I think
I
it's
would speak
kind of,
for yourself, Commissioner.
Yeah, it's my opinion, that's what I said, Commissioner.
I just think might be unfair. That would be probably the same as charging someone for common vic license the same price, and then some people giving them cheaper rate because it's a smaller parking lot. I've always felt that if someone wasn't making money at a business, they're not going to be in that
No,
business.
that's kind of not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as a business owner, and to be thrown a significant increase, whether the business is a little shady or business is legit, not notifying them what we're about to do, we can still do it. I think it's only a right thing to do. It's good business.
Well, I think we are going to notify them.
Aren't we just going ahead and doing it?
Well,
Once you do
I
the
mean, we're not
approval-
going to raise it until July 1, so that gives people a few months right there. And then the people who already have licenses are not going to be subjected to the increase until they renew their license. So that really, I mean, it's giving people ample opportunity to get their funds together and to understand what the cost of doing business, this kind of business, is going to be going forward. I mean, it's not like we're saying, hey, you got to pay tomorrow, or we're closing you down. That's not at all what we're saying. July 1, it's a new fiscal year for the city. We can begin also with a new license structure for the parking fees. And I think it's reasonable, and I think it's actually in the best interest of the city for us to do that.
If I
I
may.
mean, I have done some homework on it. I'm not saying I'm an expert on it, but I have done enough homework that I see what is being charged. I see how many vehicles there are, and I see the nuisance factor of these things, and I think there's a value to that the citizens should take benefit of. And I think raising the fees is that
If I may, Mr.
benefit.
Chairman, and I don't disagree with you to a point, but what I was going to lead into is a segue to my 1, 2, 3 day permits was basically the size of a lot based on the way people are now. If you have, someone that has 20 cars, maybe we can, categorize, like 1 to
But you're
50,
talking-
1 to
you're
50,
talking
50 to 100, more.
Yeah, but you're talking something different. Now you're talking one-day licenses.
That's
And
true.
we've already agreed that we would look
I
at
agree.
that
I agree.
as John
But
said.
I'm-
We're not going to charge them $365 or $1.
And I understand that, but, I'm talking about the smaller guy that does have 20 cars in his lot. And he's not open, he doesn't use the lot 365, and he's a regular business guy, and he lets people use it, some of the neighbors, to get off the street. I'm just,
Well,
it's
if
only
he's not
a
charging
thought.
people, then he's not a commercial parking lot.
It's only a thought. Okay, it's not,
Counselor,
but I'm just saying, if we looked at, you know, doing size and ratioing it to that portion.
Well, Counsel, I could be out of line saying this, and I'll probably,
The line,
you know,
Madam Commissioner.
Okay, but these small parking lots popping up, 15, 20, is that what we want in the city? Is this what we want to see?
But that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the current permit holders, that, you know, businesses that have a lot. And not that I'm picking on them, but I'll use Renzo's as an example, okay? They don't pay for commercial parking. They let people park down back of their place as a patron.
But they're
You know, for
patrons, they're
patrons.
not, we're talking.
But
commuter.
during.
Right, we're talking commercial commuter
We're
parking.
talking commuter parking, not restaurants or businesses. No, I'm talking someplace like in your ward, okay, I'm gonna say right by
okay.
Wonderland Park.
Oh,
I
don't use
wanna
them. They're not,
name.
but number one, they're not in my ward. It's
They're
Ward
what?
5.
Oh, was it Ward 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ward 5. But anyways, you call yourself a church, but you've got a parking lot during the day. So now, when I go by there in Mass or whatever the services they have, the parking that they have, they're letting them park all over the street.
Well, I can use another example again, we're not picking on
It's
anybody,
your
we're just.
ward, I'm telling you, you
And
gotta.
and I'll use the Caravan Club as an example, okay? And now, you gave them a permit to park cars during the day, they charge $4 a piece, $4 a day. They probably have maybe 70 cars, and it's only used 5 days a week for commuters. And I know that for a fact, 5 days a week, and except during the
They have
events.
services, now
During the
they're all out
events.
in the street.
Excuse me?
I've seen it, when they have their services.
But they're not charging for those services.
No, I'm not talking about any for the service, I'm talking, they have a dual business there. They have a parking lot and
Right.
their
Yeah,
services.
but the services are not an issue. The paid parking lot is the
That's
issue.
the issue, that's what
Is
I'm
the
saying.
issue. But they don't have them at the same time.
Oh, I don't know, Counselor,
Yeah,
I've seen it
yeah.
happen,
You know,
where he's had both, and there's been, you know, I've seen it when there's been events in Boston, and they grab that extra money, you know. You know, again, I'm gonna go back to it, if you're not making money, you wouldn't have the parking.
And I'm just saying, you know, I'd like to look at the small guy too, you
Absolutely.
know, and charging $365 for a guy that has a business. And again, you know, he makes $280 a day down at the Caravan Club, if he's full. So in a week, he makes about $1,000, a little
Makes
more than
$1,000 a month.
A week,
A week.
A week.
So 365,
times 75, because that's how many spaces he has. So 365 times 375 is over $10,000 for him. You know, and now his payback is, 10, 12 weeks. It's just a thought looking for the little guy.
Well, that's another good point. If he only rents out 20% of his spaces, then,
Just a
Yeah,
thought,
and if
because
he doesn't, he's got 70, I don't think he has 70 spots, personally.
I'm just using that as an
I think we gave
example.
him one side of the building, and the other side he wasn't supposed to. So if he's not using those spots, then cut them back, then come up for half the license.
again, it's a discussion, and that's what I'm doing.
I want to hear your
Yeah.
input, because it's things that I haven't thought
Yeah.
about, and, but as far as the one-day license, I'm kind of okay with that, we can do a percentage. They let us know what they're gonna charge, and we charge them a percentage. If they wanna say $20, you're gonna pay a percentage on $20 per spot.
Right.
So, you know,
But
that's up to them.
If that works for you, instead of a flat fee, that's, I'm
I
with
think,
it.
Council,
I'm with it.
I think with the summer coming, I think we owe it to the city to do something.
No question.
About all these cars coming into our city.
No question.
Everybody's making money on these parking lots, and, one thing too is they're paying taxes for the business they have, okay? They're not paying taxes on this other business, so they're gonna pay a fee.
Right, okay.
So, it's a tax-free business also, adding to,
Again, you're having a discussion,
way I'm looking at it.
if you're making a thing tonight, that's a decision on what you want to charge, that's fine. I'm just, again, I'm looking at just another level
Well, I
of it.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Just
I
looking at
definitely
another level.
appreciate your
Yeah.
input, Counselor, because no one wants to hurt small businesses. I mean, we want to have a partnership together. We want it to be fair.
Right.
And I think part of raising the fees is making it somewhat fair for the city. I mean, the city does put up with a lot to maintain the you know, the streets and stuff for people to get to these places. And, you know, as you know, it costs money, and so I think.
And again, you know, I'm looking out for the little guy too.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, you've given me a lot to think about. And certainly, like you say, we don't want to hit the small person, but how do you charge one business $1 a spot and another one 50 cents? Do you know what I'm saying? It's so, there's a lot to think about here.
Well, I think what, again, I will reiterate that I will make a motion to raise the fee for a parking lot license to $365 for the year. Is there
Okay,
a second?
On that, Commissioner, is that for commercial property?
Yes, for
now?
commercial parking spaces.
Okay, so it wouldn't affect those people you're talking about? It would still do the commercial there. Well, I'm talking about, he has a neighbor that
I agree with you.
doesn't.
Yes.
Oh, the Caravan Club, that's commercial.
I don't know
Oh,
what other
absolutely.
permits you have, so it's, well, Wonderland, and if we're authorized one. That's right, all the hotels.
Okay, but anyways, I'm talking about what you were talking about.
Yes, yes.
I'm
Mr.
talking about
D'Amico.
the people that you were
Yes.
talking about on the side streets there. They're not
Excuse me?
commercial property.
No, they're not.
Right, so that's where the small people come in. That's what, you're talking about small people.
Right,
The people that you and I are talking about that have their homes that are renting spots, they're not commercial property.
Right.
Those are residential. That's what I'm getting to.
okay. But
So that would be
interesting you
altogether
brought up the hotels, because they would be charged for their park and fly spaces, right?
So there are some of them that I don't think are really going to be affected by this. We're saying commercial. Those few people that are doing it and making a few dollars, they're not commercial property.
It's your house. Thank you very
No,
much.
I'm not out to
Yeah.
hurt anybody, but I will say I am in favor of this. I think it's time we do something. We have a business in this city that's been running, I don't know how many years. I'm afraid to think about it. And we haven't got a dime. And
And
that's unfair.
And unfortunately, this one business is hurting everybody else.
Taking everybody else
Bottom line,
down.
yeah.
But how do you know,
You can't, I
you
understand.
can't.
Yeah.
If you're commercial property. So I think the motion that,
Will you second that motion?
I will second the motion
Commissioner?
for commercial.
I just want to be on the record of being present on that vote.
The motion to raise the license fee for commercial parking lot license to $365 per space per year is approved. That'll close that part of the hearing. The next are communications. Notice from the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission approving the application of Primos Partners LLC, DBA Fajitas Sports Bar and Restaurant for a cordial liqueur permit. An advisory from the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission regarding the use of cannabis in alcohol beverages, which remains illegal. Also, a late license renewal for 2018, parking lots, Select Transportation, 60 VFW Parkway, has been approved. I would make a motion that we, oh, I'm sorry, we have some late communication.
Late emails, I guess. I put mine away.
We have a common victualist license from the Good Diner LLC, 361 Broadway, and also an entertainment license for the Good Diner LLC, 361 Broadway. Those are both renewals, and they have been approved. I would make a motion to...
I would like to...
Yes, go ahead.
Before we close the meeting, I've noticed that we gave out an all-alcoholic beverage license to Sebastian's on Revere Street. I believe that's going maybe on a year now, that license has been... But anyways, I would like to call them in because now, since they've gotten the license, actually right after they got the license, they put up a for sale sign.
I don't think they ever took the one down, was it there?
Right, so they're in the process of trying to find buyers, but in the meantime, I'd like to know what they're doing with this liquor license that we did approve. I'd like to call them in and just get an update from them, if I have a second on that, because I've heard different stories of different things they're doing there, and I just would like to clear it up for the residents in the area. And this way, the residents will know exactly what is taking place there.
Yes. Are there any other issues that you want to bring up, Commissioner?
I don't believe so. I do not have any. Nope.
Yes, I would make a motion to adjourn to our next License Commission meeting, which will be May 16th.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn is seconded. Thank you very much.